Can you all hear me? Good morning and welcome everyone. It's a delight to see so many people here on this, what I think is a really important day. Actually, welcome is so important, and it's important for us just to spend some time thinking about that together, hearing each other's ideas and sharing resources as well. I want to speak to you today about welcome and to ask the question, where does it begin? Where does it begin? We often have an idea in our minds that it begins at the door. We're ready to present to somebody. We're ready like a pack of hounds or vultures, ready to pounce on this unsuspecting person and to give them the good news. Welcome can sometimes look different though. Welcome sometimes, it might be in your own churches that welcome's a bit forward, that there's always somebody ready to throw their arms around you, give you a big sloppy kiss and say welcome to the Lord. I can see some fingers pointing already. Welcome might look genuine and friendly, might be there subtly, the handshake, ready to greet somebody in the name of Christ. Welcome might be the team ready on a Sunday on the other side of the door, ready to extend that warm welcome and to invite someone to worship. And on a good day, welcome might look particularly friendly. I love this sketch from Mitchell and Webb, and sometimes that's how I feel that my welcome is on a particularly bad day. But no, welcome is so important. But welcome is not necessarily confined to the other side of the door. Welcome actually can be much broader and needs to start beyond our churches, because people need to know that they'll be welcomed before they ever make that step through the door. Where does welcome actually begin? I'd like to pose it this morning that welcome actually begins a lot further than this door. Welcome begins where people are already, and welcome needs to begin before we even get to meet people. We need to say hello to people before we've ever seen them, at a distance where they can't even hear us. And that sounds strange, but it is a truth. Who is it that turns up at your house in the middle of the night, uninvited? It's family, isn't it? Family and friends will do that because they know that they will be welcomed. What about when diplomats and leaders arrive in the UK? They come not because they've just decided to pop in, but because they know that they will be welcomed. The message has already got out, it's already escaped, that they'll be welcomed when they arrive. So it's so important to think about welcome beyond the church doors. The message of welcome needs to get out before we even welcome anybody or extend our hand of friendship. Churches need to be welcoming. This is a church in Alaska which is apparently still in use. Obviously only in the summer months, I should think, otherwise you get pretty wet. But our buildings need to look welcoming in order to invite people into them. Nobody would want to come into this space. It doesn't scream welcome to anyone. But when churches do look welcoming and inviting, people come in. And it's important for us to think about what our churches look like on the outside, because these are our greatest advertisements in many ways, our buildings. What do they speak of? Do they speak of a people that cares so much about the people who come in that they've decided to spruce the place up? That we respect those who come to us so much that the place looks good? Things to consider. Do our notice boards give clear and obvious welcomes to people? Or do we just confront people with a lot of information that they don't necessarily understand? Can we use temporary and targeted messages to reach out to specific groups of people? And it sounds a bit contradictory here, but sometimes to welcome people, we have to be exclusive. We have to welcome certain groups of people as well as everyone. And only when we do that, when we target certain people, can we be what M&S is, exclusively for everyone. We have to reach out to different people in different ways. If our churches are open, do we actually tell people? And how do we tell people? I've brought along with me today a prop, £25 on Amazon, best bit of kit I've bought this year, and it's just an A-board. When we see businesses throughout our cities and towns, they're very good at getting their message out and telling people that they're open. The chalkboard is an old and trusty piece of kit which tells people the church is open and that they're welcome. It seems really obvious to us that churches are free spaces where anyone can come in and anyone is welcome, that our services are open to all. But actually, the conversations that I often have with generations of people who have never gone to church goes like this. Are we allowed in, Father? Can we light a candle? Because most of these people have only ever been to church when they've been invited, when they've come for a baptism, a wedding or a funeral. And all of those things you're sort of invited to. So we need to get the message out that people are welcome, that these are spaces in which they can inhabit. And our signage and what the church looks like outside speaks volumes of that. We need to make it really obvious that churches are welcome places for people to come into. These are some signs which I can't say will get through the DAC, so don't take them as examples for that. But just simple signs which say welcome, that the church is open. It says that you can come in, essentially. St. Giles here, all welcome, stated obviously on the notice boards. This is an Adventist church in Middlesbrough, which says that you are welcome. And the following church has even resorted to giving people booze. I think sounds like my type of church, really, but I think it's referring to a geographical feature. But actually, this type of sign is important. The finger notice board, do we get involved with our councils and petition them to actually make signage really obvious to our churches? Because part of welcome is actually telling people where we are, giving them clear directions. And do we have around our parishes and in our cities and towns finger posts along the roads which tell people where our churches are actually located? As John said, we might have churches in landmark locations, but people will not know where they are. We have to make them really, really obvious. Targeted messages. This is a temporary sign which we have up outside St. Matthew's at the moment, just telling people the students are welcome. And it's amazing the difference that makes by just telling people, as a targeted group, that you are welcome. All of a sudden you'll start to find more people coming through the doors who identify as a student or as another particular group. We need to be really, really clear about our message that people are welcome. I've spoken a little bit about physical signs there, but I now just want to spend a bit of time talking about online. More and more people will look at our churches online than they probably will pass by the door. There's many more people passing by our websites than passing by the door of our churches. And 25% of people who have been going to church in the last year did so, the primary reason, because of the website. It's not extraordinary. 25% of people, the primary reason why they went to that church was because of the website. Are our websites then up to date as our notice board should be? I'm as guilty as this as anyone. I can make sure that the church notice board is up to date and make sure that all posters are taken down, but I forget to update the website. It's really important if we're going to make a welcoming church that people can see when things are and what's happening. The vast majority of people visit websites not even to hear our sermons or anything like that, or to see the events that's going on, but to find out service times and the address. Do we make them easy for people to access, or do we hide them away somewhere on the website? Are they on the home page of the website, the address and the service times, simple so that people can see them? That's really important. Do we have photographs that people can see and relate to? All of us want to see people that we sort of look like. And so it's important that our websites reflect the diversity of our communities, that they show photographs of people that are involved and people just enjoying church life, so hopefully smiling. That's always a good thing to have on a website, people who smile, so that it looks like a welcoming and enjoyable place to go and to be. Websites, I know, can be tricky for some people, but there are some really easy resources for you to use. And on the handout here, I've just listed one, Weebly. So if you haven't got a website, there's a church near you, which every Church of England parish has, and you can upload information on there. But if you don't have a website yet, there's loads of free websites that you can use to construct one. And on these websites now, you can put up videos very easily, you can put up pictures. And if it's too much for you, just ask one of your grandchildren or children. Honestly, I was absolutely amazed. I've just started getting into making videos, and it was because last year I went to Lourdes with some young people, and they were aged between 8 and 14, and all the way on the train journey down, it was a nightmare. It was a train journey, never again, flying next time. And it was overnight, and all the way they were taking these pictures, and the camera was always in my face and all the rest. And by the time we got to Lourdes, they played this video of the journey, which had music backing it and all kinds. It was astonishing, but there's all kinds of software which can help you to do that on websites. And there's something on this handout here, FreeMake, which is a really useful website to enable you to make videos very easily. If you don't know how to put them on a website, you can easily find out how to put them on Facebook and these kinds of mediums, because they're so easy to upload onto there. Most of you will have a very powerful device on you, which is your mobile telephone. And nowadays you can easily take videos and photographs via these machines and easily put them up on Facebook. Update things regularly. People will see what's going on in your churches. They'll be encouraged, and they'll know that it's a welcoming place to be. I've got some examples now of what I thought was good websites. This is Christ Church Mayfair, which is an Anglican church. And here very obviously on the website it says here, students are welcome. It has who they are, but also very, very easily to see, find us. So you can find where they are. It's obvious where to look, where to find this church. It makes welcome easier. It takes down another one of those barriers from someone thinking, I fancy going to church, to actually turning up on Sunday morning or through the week. This is Liverpool One, which is a church in Liverpool, and I've got a video to show you from them in a minute. Their website is really clear. It shows you a welcome video, which is something that you might consider using some of those tools that I've highlighted. It also shows, if you can just see in the red box there, who to contact and where to find them. They've made it easy for people to find out where to go. And this here is our Facebook page, which has a huge following now, an increasing following. And if you put things out there on Facebook, tell people that they're welcome and that they're invited. This week on All Souls Day, we had 2 masses, one at 12:30 and one at 6, where we prayed for the departed, and we invited people to come along. And it just simply says, today is All Souls Day, when we remember and pray for our departed loved ones. Masses at 12:30 and 6 p.m. All are welcome to come, light a candle and to pray. Tell people that they're welcome. Tell people what they can do, that they're welcome in our spaces and in our churches. So I'd just like us to have a look at this video now, which is a welcome video, which I think is particularly good from Liverpool One Church.
Welcome to Liverpool One Church. We are delighted that you found us on the web, and we hope that you can find all the information you need as you spend time just browsing your way through the site. Liverpool One Church, it isn't your average church, and that's because we're specifically designing and building this church for people just like you. Each and every Sunday we meet together as a church, and we're full of people from all different kinds of backgrounds across many different ages, and we're so intentional about creating an environment that makes it really easy for you to come along to, and we would love you to come. We'd love you to be part of what happens on a Sunday at church, and we'd love to welcome you and invite you, even if it's just to check things out and just to see what's going on. We have so many people in church right now who at one point in their life were convinced that church would definitely not be for them. And maybe that's where you find yourself right now. So if there were one thing that I were able to leave you knowing at the end of this short video, it would simply be this. Whoever you are and wherever you are from, we want you to know that you will be most welcomed and accepted at Liverpool One Church. You, your friends, and all of your family at Liverpool One Church. So we look forward to seeing you.
What I particularly like about that video is it exemplifies how we can say the hello before anybody gets to the door. We can embrace people before they even get to us. We can hold out the hand of welcome. That's what all of these tools can do. Our signage, the way we present ourselves, the way we use websites and social media are all ways of us saying welcome before people even get to us. It's reaching out to people on their turf. Outside is where we need to welcome people before they even get to us. Welcome has to be more than that friendly hello when people arrive. It needs to reach people where they are. And placing our literature and message out there via the internet and through paper literature in cafes and businesses is really important for us. There's 3 examples of some literature that we've been using at St Matthew's lately in your pack, and something for you to have a look at later. But the first one is black and white, and this is a general one. This is just saying to all kinds of people what we do and what we're about. And the other 2 aren't that different, but they contain slightly different messages targeting certain people. One is for students, and the other is for city workers. And it's saying to people in particular, you are welcome. When these are placed in cafes or in businesses, we're pushing back the bounds of secularisation, and we're saying to people, even before they get to the door, that they are welcome. We can also use our buildings. It seems that it's hard to get people, or people try to make us believe that, into our churches, but it's not. Because whenever we open them up and give hospitality to secular groups, we're already extending that hand of welcome to others. So that's another aspect for us to think about. How do we use our buildings at other times of the week when we're not worshipping, so people can get a taster of the welcome that they'll get in our worshipping groups. I just want to say a few points about accessibility. It's fine us talking about how welcoming we are as a church, but if we don't welcome people who have disabilities or who have difficulties, then we're not a welcoming church. Do we have to hand literature that people can use who are partially sighted? Are our churches accessible, and is it clear the routes that people have to make in? This is something which we're reviewing at St Matthew's at the moment. We're not perfect by any means on this front, and we need to review how we welcome people who have difficulties with access, how we make them feel welcome. At the heart of welcome for me is how we would welcome Christ. If the Queen was about to come to one of our churches tomorrow, we'd all be rushing back now with a paintbrush and off to buy a red carpet, wouldn't we? Well, when we welcome those whom God has created to our churches, we're welcoming Christ himself, welcoming him to our churches. And in order to do that well, we have to reach out beyond the front door. Psalm 24 verse 9. Lift up your gates, lift them up, you ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. Let us then put out the red carpet for those who come to our churches, but let us also realise that it has to extend beyond the door so that they know the way in. Thank you.